Afternoon. It's time to be happy. Excuse me, I'm just going to have a swig of my coffee. Yeah, product placement, there you go, product placement. Load of rubbish. So this one's going to be quite short. Purely because I ain't got an awful lot to say this week. There's been a few things going on, but really nothing I really want to bring to the fore. So what I thought I'd do is I'd just give you a quick update on where we are with the beastie behind me, the T1. So last week I started the renovations on the T1 in earnest, so I started stripping it down, and I've literally had to take every single board out of the middle of this thing, purely because the way the boards in here work is that they're mounted upside down, so the actual guts and the chips are actually facing the floor of the keyboard, whereas the back of the keyboard is actually the underside circuitry. Why they've done that, I've no idea, but that's what they've done. That means all the ribbon cables and connectors actually go underneath and then up into the keyboard, up into the board itself. So if you want to disconnect them, guess what? You have to take the board out, turn it over so you can get to the point where the connections meet the main motherboard. That was it wasn't particularly difficult to do, so don't get me wrong. It just was the memory board on the end, which you can see if you see the video. But the memory board, the leg that it is attached to, that's fixed to the body of the keyboard, has come loose. So the only way you could do that was to get some sort of clamp in there to hold the leg firm before you could actually undo the screw on top. So that took a little bit of a while. But effectively, all these boards behind me came off last week. I desoldered every single switch, took them all out. They've all been thrown. Brand new switches have now been soldered in. I have done a click test and a quick test with a meter on them, and they all seem to be working, so that's good. The other thing I've done so far is I've replaced the wee buttonies. There you go, there's the wee buttonies. Because some of them are broken there. There's a broken one like that, so that's been replaced. And what I'm going to do with these actually is since it always seems to be the one at the end that's broken, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do that, snap that off, and I'm actually going to keep that because you never know when that might come in handy. So that'll go in my little box of bits for keyboards. Just need to trim that down with a Stanley knife or something, because it's just a little bit rough around the edges there. So we'll get on and do that. I am going to replace the display today, but I'm not going to do it until I've actually made sure the buttons work, because it's one thing at a time. And the other thing I'm going to do while I've got the keyboard open, and I was debating whether to do this or not, but I thought, well, you know, it seems a bit stupid not to. I'm actually going to replace the battery on the board. I've no idea when the battery was last replaced, but I sort of have a thing that when I buy a keyboard, I always replace the battery when I buy the keyboard, because that way I know I've got about 5 or 6 years worth of life. Even if I put it into storage for a bit, it's going to work when I bring it out. So I'm going to do that. The display wise, I think I showed this before, but I have a nice new blue display. There you go, there's the blue display. The only thing I was concerned about was looking at this last night, is that these 2 points here, which seem to be power points, don't marry up with that display in there. So I need to go back to the original documentation of the guy who sold this to me, and just have a quick check about why there's no power at this end of the board, which is what I was expecting. But we shall see anyway. That's still got its nice sort of cellophane wrapping on it, ready to go in. And I think that theoretically should be that. That should really rejuvenate this keyboard. Now the final thing I've got, I think I've just found, I've been looking for local joiners to do some work on the end pieces, and I thought I found somebody to do that. So this is the end bits of the keyboard, as in the end. I thought I'd found someone to do that. Unfortunately, the guy's turned around and said he can't do it. It's not his sort of trade, which was a bit annoying given the fact that I did have these conversations with him over the telephone before I actually went to see him. I think he just looked at it and thought that's far too difficult. I can't, whatever. So anyway, I think I found somebody. There is I was on one of the forums and there was actually somebody advertising his services in this area. So I've made contact with the guy. If it turns out that he's going to be a goer, I will let you guys know who he is, how to contact him, because people who or provide services for this legacy tech or something to jazz up the legacy tech, they should be sort of circulated and people should use them if they're good. It's like when I was looking for servicing one of my other keyboards, which is a little bit too difficult for me to service. I spent a long time looking around for somebody who I would trust, and that wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to find that individual, but I did. So we're getting there with this. We are getting there. I reckon another couple of weeks, and hopefully it will be done. And back to full working order, which will be really good. Other than that, I've not really got an awful lot to say about anything else. No, it's a dry week this week. Dry week, so it's going to be a short, sharp, swift one, and I will go and watch the. Where are we? Italian Grand Prix today, so I'm going to sit down with my coffee and watch that for the rest of the afternoon, and then this evening I will continue with the repairs on this. Anyway, take care. See you next week. Bye. I've been told it helps the channel out greatly if you hit the like button if you enjoyed the contents of this video. If you want to be notified about future videos that may be made for the channel, please hit the subscribe button.